Hey y'all, it's another edition of the best wrestling show of the week. Yeah! Hey guys, it's Travis Fowler, Hark Rider with Four Corner Post, and I am bringing you another edition of the BWS of the week. Best wrestling show of the week. Make sure to hashtag BWS in your comments or when you share this video around. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Unfortunately, for the second week in a row, I don't think there was really a huge standout over all four shows. I think, honestly, all four shows were pretty lackluster. Again, there were moments in each show that were pretty cool, but honestly, there wasn't really any one particular show that was far and above better than the others. One thing I want to do before we go any further, though, is send out our get well wishes to Big E, who suffered a broken neck on SmackDown in a very, very scary spot. Hopefully Big E has a quick recovery, and we hope we'll see him back real soon. Big E, we love you, brother. Now let's go ahead and into the video, starting with Monday Night Raw. Again, Raw was one of those shows that had a few cool moments in it. Of course, the opening match was the Triple Threat Tag Team title match that's been hyped up for the last couple weeks. RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy versus the team of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Those two, Rollins and Owens, I thought were a really good pairing and a good team that was gelling really nice together, actually. But in a shocking turn of events, RK Bro picked up the win and the tag team titles. And this is coming off of last week when we thought Orton got injured in their match with the Street Profits. Now it won't surprise me if we see RK Bro going against the Profits at Mania with the Street Profits being the heels. I actually think that's a good kind of turn of events if they go that route. They've kind of been teasing it little by little, and what better way to start it off than by against RK Bro when we thought that they legitimately could have injured Orton, or Montez Ford specifically on Orton, with that frog splash the week before. Edge, of course, came out and cut a pretty dark promo, as they called it, with some very Undertaker-esque lighting, and it was just, again, to build up more hype for the AJ Styles match coming forth. And then in the main event segment, we saw Kevin Owens invite Stone Cold Steve Austin to the KO show on WrestleMania Saturday. And a lot of people, including myself, think that this may build towards WrestleMania Sunday, with some events transpiring on Saturday to create the matchup between Owens and Austin the following evening. We also saw Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley get added to the tag team title match for the women's division at Mania. I'm really getting kind of meh about them just throwing two singles wrestlers together in the women's division to create a tag team. But, I mean, this is what we got, because you go ahead and cut or don't even hardly use any of the women that are tag teams to begin with, so I guess we can't really complain all that much. Moving on to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, again, coming off the heels of Revolution. Wasn't really anything extraordinary except for maybe two notable things. Chris Jericho going heel and forming a new faction with a very terrible name, in my opinion. Don't understand why they didn't just keep with the Inner Circle. We've seen other factions do that in the past. You could either have done Inner Circle 2.0 or just keep it still Inner Circle, only it's a new edition. But instead, we now have the Jericho Appreciation Society, JAS. I'm not going to be too critical except on the name. This may end up being a really cool thing going forward, but only time will tell. I'm hoping it does end up being something interesting going forward. Wardlow cut his promo talking about how he's going to take the TNT title next week for the St. Patrick's Day Slam. I'm pretty sure MJF will get involved in that. Wardlow actually, though, cut a decent promo and is showing his own singles outing skills. I think we have a lot to look forward to with Wardlow moving forward. He's done great when it comes to his in-ring work, even though it's been kept simple. You don't really need a whole lot with him. So I think we're on the right track for him, and he's becoming a huge star for AEW. We also saw Thunder Rosa get the announcement that she will take on Britt Baker next week in that same St. Patrick's Day Slam show, only this time the women's title will be contested inside a steel cage match. That should be pretty interesting to see. These two have had good matches in the past. Hopefully they have another barn burner next week inside the steel cage. And then, of course, the two final points is the debut of Jeff Hardy, who had to get his dance in before he made the save with his brother. I mean, all of us like doing that little Hardy dance anyway, so who can really blame him in doing that? It's really cool also to hear the Hardy Boys theme being used in AEW, the theme that we've grown up to know with the two of them. So surreal that they're using it, but it's awesome that we get that. And then the main event saw the TNT title on the line with the undefeated for over a year, Scorpio Sky, taking the TNT title from Sammy Guevara. This is a very good title change. I think they're doing good things with Scorpio. I know this is probably going to lead to either Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, or one or the other, I should say, teaming up with Paige Van Zant to take on Sammy Guevara and Taya Conti. I really don't have a preference other than I think if you want to keep Sammy involved in the TNT picture for that championship, you're going to have to put Scorpio Sky in there for it to continue on and make sense going forward. Then on Impact Wrestling, we saw the Honor No More faction come out and do their addressing of how they're still going to take over. They're the dominant force, yada, yada, yada. That led to a couple matches with Eddie Edwards, and then we also saw Rich Swann get involved in that as well, and his tag team partner Willie Mack also was in action against another member of Honor No More. It was Willie Mack versus Kitty King. Overall, not too bad there. The Bullet Club did their addressing as well, where we saw Alex Shelley come out to address specifically Jay White, and we got what I wanted, which was a Motor City Machine Guns reunion next week going against Jay White and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club. Should be a barn burner of a match there. And of course, in the main event, as we mentioned earlier, Eddie Edwards picking up the victory over his opponent, Rich Swann. I really do think they're going to build up Eddie to be a formidable force to where he'll go after the Impact Championship after Josh Alexander and Moose have their title match at Rebellion. Then we move on finally to SmackDown last night. Brock Lesnar, of course, was taking on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but Roman was a no-show, but Paul Heyman wasn't, and Brock Lesnar went after Paul Heyman and was unsuccessful at getting him. But of course, this is just building even more towards the match at Mania, which the closer it gets, the more excited I'm getting. Still can't say that about the Ronda Rousey-Charlotte Flair feud. It's just kind of fallen flat at this point. And originally, I thought we were going to have the New Day going against Sheamus and Ridge Holland going into Mania. I know that match was on SmackDown, but I really thought they were going to have something take place where it was going to get put off till Mania. As an example, I thought the new Pete Dunne, or I should say Butch character, getting involved in like a DQ capacity that would then take it to Mania, where we maybe would have had Xavier Woods come out as a manager for them. That way it's a 3-on-3 scenario, but unfortunately with Big E's untimely injury, that does not seem to be the case going forward. On the rest of the show, Charlotte and Ronda had a promo battle that was again just lackluster, still doesn't really do anything for me going to their match at Mania. And then the main event saw Ricochet taking on Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, and Ricochet retaining it. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he's walking into Mania as the champion. But I only have one complaint when it came to SmackDown this week. I wanted, and I swear it was advertised, that we were going to have Zelina Vega versus Sasha Banks this week, but instead we've got the tag team of Banks and Naomi taking on a newly makeshift team of Natalya and Shayna Baszler. I honestly thought they were going to give Baszler and Natalya the win to set up adding them into the already triple threat match to make it a fatal four-way for the women's tag titles, but to my surprise, that didn't happen. So, who had the best wrestling show this week? Not too much again to stand out on any show, but if I was to pick one of a complete show from start to finish and had some good moments in between, it's hard to really pick. I think by just a slim margin, I would have to give it to SmackDown. SmackDown overall had great storytelling going forward for the most part, had good matches to lead towards Mania, and aside from the scary spot from Big E, I believe SmackDown was the more complete show this week. AEW could have been, but I can't speak for everybody. I get tired of all of the commercial breaks in between matches on any show, honestly, and AEW had almost every single match go to a commercial during it. Now that could of course be because the William Regal promo took a little longer than anticipated, but that's no big deal, honestly. So this week though, the winner of the Best Wrestling Show goes to SmackDown. And that's all I have for you this week. What did you think was the best wrestling show? Leave a comment down in the section below to tell me if you thought SmackDown was the best show, or if you disagree, what was the best show for this week? Also, make sure to like this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, make sure you've hit that bell so you're notified anytime a new video is uploaded to the channel. As always, I'm Travis Fowler Harkrider, and I will see you again next week.